Hi Stampers, Marlene here. Today the card we're making will be using the Emboss resist technique, and we'll be using watercolours to do this. So to make our card today we need a piece of pink pirouette cardstock that I have cut to 21 centimetres by 14.9, and then I've just folded that in half, so that's the card base. And for the mat, I am using a piece of Fruit Stand Designer Series paper from the current Stampin' Up! Catalogue, and it's got this pink washy type look on the front and this cute flowers and strawberries on the back. So we're going to be using this side because it looks like what we're going to be doing. We also need to do the inside of the card, so just a mat for the inside, which is around about 10.3 by 14.7 centimetres, and I've just used a little bit of the offcut from this to put a strip across the bottom, just so it coordinates on the front and the inside. Now to do the main panel, we're going to be needing a little piece of white cardstock, about 6.7 centimetres by 10.2, and a mat to go underneath that. I'm going to use this silver paper, and that's 6.5 by 10 centimetres. So what we're going to do first is we're going to emboss Happy Birthday onto this piece of cardstock, and we're going to be using the Happy Birthday here out of the Better Together stamp set. Here's our stamp, and we're just going to ink that up with some Versamark, but first we're going to treat our white cardstock with our embossing body and lightly stamp so that we don't get all the ink. Sometimes when you press really hard on this, the ink goes around the edges and leaves a shadow around your words, and it just doesn't work very well. So we stamp that on in the middle and apply the embossing powder. You can just see it there. So that's the powder. So we take our heat tool and we heat that until it goes shiny, like that. So it's nice and shiny there. And then what we do is we're going to put a few drops of ink on our block. And I'm just using Blushing Bride re-inker and a water pen. It's like a paintbrush, but it has water in the barrel. I don't know if you can see the water in there. So just give that a light squeeze to get the water coming through. You see there's drops there, that's water there. So we just drag some of the ink into the water. So what we want to do is cover the whole piece of paper. So I might start around the middle, and as you can see, it's magically appearing in white as we make the paper the darker pink there. So you just want to keep going over it until you get the saturation you want. If you need to add more ink because you're not happy with the colour of it, then you add more ink. It's entirely up to you. And we just clean the ink and water off the brush. So you just set that aside to let that dry, or you can use your heat tool to let it dry. That's what it looks like when it's dry. So now to make the card, what I'm going to do is adhere the front designer series paper panel, a bit of the glue. I love this glue, it's awesome. Just don't use too much of it, because if you get it anywhere other than where it's supposed to be, it's like a sticky mess. So we just pop that onto the card base, and you have a little bit of give until it dries to just move it around to where it needs to be. And then, because this card is going to be a global design project, I will add the link in my comments in the description box. I'm going to put the silver panel on a little bit crooked, like so. And the top panel will go on like that. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, because I think it looks a little bit plain, is I'm just going to get my Petite Petals punch and just punch out a scrap of pink cardstock. And I'm also going to cut out a green one, but I'm only going to use 2 of the petals on the green one, so that's obviously 3 petals. But if you cut off and you just have 2 petals like that, you can use that for leaves, and when you've scrunched it up a little bit and fiddled around with it, that looks like that one. So it looks like a little flower. So I just want to pop a little dot of glue on there and pop that in the corner. And then to finish off, something in the centre, just to finish it off a little. And don't forget also to glue the inside. And then you just write in the middle, put it in an envelope, and there you go. So thank you, stampers, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll look forward to making the next video for you. Thank you very much.